Well, hello again everybody. Today we are going to put the drain plugs back into this Massey Ferguson 1952 Ferguson TO-30 tractor. And this is actually the second part of a two-part series on this. The first one I described how to remove these plugs, and this time like I say, we're going to reinstall them, and we're going to refill the reservoir, as you can see right here, via this access plug. And as I mentioned before, on a Ferguson TO-30, the differential, the hydraulic pumping chamber, and the transmission, they're all one big chamber. So they all share the same lubricant. And in this case, the factory calls out for GL1 90 weight mineral oil, and the closest product that I could find that would that met those specifications is this this oil right here. So without further ado, let me go through these tools once again for those of you who did not see the earlier video. There's the front plug and the rear plugs are the same size. Now, I actually used a 7/8 inch impact socket to remove the forward plug, and as you can see, it fits on there quite nicely, or if I had two hands it would look a little easier. And on the rear one, and they're both the same size, I had to use a 11/16 open end because I have an obstruction in the way. It's a mounting plate for my drawbar, so I cannot get a socket around it. Anyway, this worked fine. It took a little longer than it would have otherwise, however it did work. And of course the middle plug, I used a 27mm impact wrench socket, as well as an open end, a crescent wrench. And one thing I will mention is that when you remove these, they will be filthy, and these little reservoirs in each one of them will be full of sludge. So you'll want to clean these plugs up, get that sludge out of there. And additionally, what I've done is I've cleaned the threads with a wire brush, because there's a significant amount of corrosion on those threads too. That just should make it easier to reinstall these. So anyway, I hope that will help you folks out, and maybe you won't run into the same problems I did. Now, one thing I will mention about these plugs is that the part of them, I guess the wrench boss part of it, will not be the same dimensions on all four sides. In other words, it looks like, it feels like they're a little bit they're not perfect squares. They're more a little bit of a rectangle, which makes it kind of difficult to size a wrench for them. I think that's why these impact sockets are working so well on them. Is you know, they have there's enough room in them to handle the differences in the side lengths, and it slips right over them. So if you're changing your hydraulic fluid on your Ferguson TO-30, just those little tips hopefully will help you, or save you some time anyway, because I spent a lot of time looking for the right wrenches to fit these plugs. And I think initially I kind of gravitated towards a crescent wrench more than any of the other tools, just because you know, it was more convenient, but it's a lot clumsier. So good luck to you, and happy hydraulic oil / fluid changing to you.